So today, working on the 2006 Nissan Sentra. This is the one I picked up on the marketplace for $2,300. Not in bad condition, but one of the things I do want to address, along with a bunch of other things I need to address, is the transmission. Now, it shifts good, but that 1 to 2 shift is pretty hard, and I don't know, it's kind of driving me crazy. Maybe makes me a little nervous, but maybe we can fix it. So, reading on the forums, apparently that a drain and fill and also some Lucas should take care of it. So I got some Max Life from Valvoline. It has the Nissan uses the Matic D. I believe it's the Matic D, not the S. It uses the Matic D. That one has the formulas or the liquids for it, whatever you want to call it, and that should help it. So now let's see if I give you an example. You probably can't feel it or hear it, but it's just a little harsh. It's not terrible compared to most other transmissions I felt that actually have had some serious transmission issues. It doesn't slip, it doesn't hesitate, it just has that harsh engagement. Apparently it is a common issue, but we're gonna drop the pan, clean it out, put some the Max Life from Valvoline in there, and I think I'm gonna go with the Lucas transmission fix. I've been reading a lot on the forums, and there's been some success to help smoothing out the shifts and kind of help with the longevity of it. Outside of the 1 to 2 shift, the transmission works great, but let's do a little maintenance, get it fixed, and hopefully we can make that better and also keep the transmission alive a little bit. So let's head to the house and let's drop this pan. So I started on this last night, and just to kind of help the process a little bit and get as much fluid as I can out, I went ahead and took out the drain plug. It's a 17, so this should be mostly empty, but at least I'll get a good chunk of that fluid out. It's a 17 millimeter, and I'm putting a new washer in it just as added protection. I'm gonna snug it up on the pan now, that way I don't forget later. And that way this thing will continue to drip on me, huh? Correction, it's a 19, not a 17. Now the pan bolts, these are 10s. So there's like a ton of them. Let's start. Now let's release this one in the back. Always leave one because you don't want this thing to fall. And gently. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Alright, not bad. Here's our filter. So this thing looks really clean. Suspiciously too clean. So this is the part where you hope for the best. You cringe, you pray, you get excited. Let's see. So let's take a look at this and see how much glitter we see. It's actually not bad. Looks like whatever adhesive they use got inside. But the magnets, I mean, they got their slosh, but I'm not seeing a lot of glitter. But then again, these magnets also have, I mean, it's 145,000 miles on it. It doesn't look as good as I would like, but it's not terrible, so we'll take it. Now, the unfortunate thing, and I was doing some research to find out how much this thing holds. Apparently, the transmission filter, you have to drop the valve body. Well, we're not doing that today, and here's why. Number one, I can't seem to find a diagram on how to do that, which screws it is, and I really don't want to mess this thing up. I was looking at the filter, and when we go underneath, I'll show you. It's pretty clear. It's one of those mesh ones. It's not like it has those micro filters or whatever stuff that filters it. So we're gonna run it like this, get the pan real clean, and then later on in the future, when I actually get a diagram for removing the valve body and a how to, because I'd hate to kind of figure out and forget something. That would not be good. We'll go back and do it. Apparently there's a bolt that once you take it out, you can't tighten it with the nuts. You don't want to leave something loose in there. So we're just gonna leave that alone. Run with this for now, and then come back later once I have more information. But let's get this thing clean first. So I did a bunch more cleaning off camera. Got this thing looking pretty nice. Got the magnets all nice and pretty. Like I said, we're not going to be able to change the filter, and I'll show you a little bit underneath, but we'll be able to use the gasket. I'm not going to put RTV on it. Some people do. I don't like to put RTV on transmissions. Just not my thing. Some people do, some people don't. I don't. Also do a little spray paint action and kind of clean up the bottom, you know, for show quality. So let's slide underneath and get this thing in. So underneath is the filter, and apparently it's this bolt that there's a nut behind it. And as you look at this transmission, and this is typical, this valve body's got like 1,000,001 screws. So supposed to take all that out. This thing pops down. I need a diagram. I need something a little more concrete. I don't want to take this apart and miss something. So until I get some more information on that, we're going to leave this. If you look, the strainer looks really clean. There's no need for concern as far as that. So we'll be fine just doing a fluid change and also cleaning up the junk out of the pan. So let's get this thing popped on. Now I already went ahead, put the gasket on, and then the bolts, if you feed them through, they'll hold the gasket in place, as you can kind of see right there. I've made sure this surface is nice and clean. If you got to clean it, use something soft like a Scotch pad. That works really good at getting soft. Don't use a whiz wheel or something that could gouge this, because then you'll run into problems. Ask me how I know. Needless to say, RTV was my best friend that day. So let's kind of at least get one started. Can we get one started? That's good. Can we get two started? I always want to do these by hand. Never by impact. Now I am going to take the gun and just bring them in. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Now the torque spec should be, I believe it's like 5 or 6 foot-pounds or 61 inch-pounds. I'm just gonna go at 6 foot-pounds. Play it safe. You know, crisscross pattern, all that good stuff. Now for the transmission fluid, Valvoline MaxLife multi-vehicle. So this calls for like Nissan Matic D, wherever it is. And this has the support for it. Also recommended for Dexron 6, which they say to use Dexron 6 as well, but I've read that the Dexron is a little thinner and causes issues, but whatever. We'll use this. I have this one over here that I had used for another project, same thing. MaxLife, all that stuff recommended. Just the older one. I am popping in Lucas transmission fix. This one has 2 quarts, so I believe it says it takes 4 quarts. I went ahead and popped this in. I'm going to actually substitute a quart for this, and I've been having this draining because if any of you have messed with this Lucas transmission fix, it is thick. So let's get this poured in. So we're going to start with 2 along with the Lucas. Let's make that nice and thick. Oh geez, and I've made a mess. So this is going to be a nice and slow pour. Great. So it's actually the next day, and well, we're done with the transmission fluid. Pretty much 3.5 quarts very simple, very easy to do. Drop in the pan. One thing I will recommend is you change the copper washer on the drain plug, as I mean mine was just completely flat, wasn't leaking, but don't want to take the chance. It took 3.5 quarts, but it might take a little bit more if you was to drop the filter. I didn't drop the filter primarily because I don't have a diagram like I talked about earlier or anything. I've never done it before, and I don't want to take the chance of it. It has a metal screen filter. It's not as fine as some of the other filters I've seen, so I'm not too worried about it. And based upon what I was able to see, I think we're okay. Overall, pretty good. Very happy with it. Stay tuned, as in another upcoming video, I'll be doing a test drive and making sure that everything I've done works really good. Testing the brakes, the transmission, and all the stuff that I did to the engine. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and test drive coming soon.